This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description. Hello and welcome everyone to our 213th session of HalloCasa. My name is Michael and today I'm talking to Crystal Moore from South Florida in the US. Crystal is the founder and CEO of Dominion Realty Group, a highly successful real estate brokerage serving South Florida and the Orlando area. With over 14 years of experience and more than 100 million in sales, Crystal has guided over 1,000 clients in buying, selling, investing and renting both residential and commercial properties. Beyond her impressive track record, Crystal is passionate about mentoring and training realtors and entrepreneurs, helping them achieve their real estate and financial goals. Her commitment to excellence has earned her recognition as a market research analyst for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, a top 15 sales ranking in 2015, and a place among the top 25 in residential sales in Broward County. Originally from Trinidad and Tobago, Crystal's entrepreneurial spirit showed early. She started selling jewelry at age 12 and ventured into cell phone sales by 19. Today, she continues to help clients and entrepreneurs alike achieve their version of the American dream through real estate. Crystal, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Why don't you introduce yourself with your own words to our audience?
Thank you for having me today. I appreciate your time, Michael. Wow, that was a lot. That's the kind of the corporate resume that I always like to say. And to sum it up, I have been blessed with the opportunity to impact hundreds of realtors all over South Florida and also entrepreneurs in the financial and credit sector. And what I've done is I've had the opportunity to build a brand called Dominion Realty Group, where we were able to bring together a great group of agents that are invested in a great culture and invested in providing our clients with excellent customer service and not cutting the corners. And because of that, we built a great team. We absolutely love our team. We have some really incredible agents. Our staff is incredible as well. And our whole idea is to ensure that our clients are treated the service that they desire and that's well-deserved. And also, we have a lot of experience in many different markets. I've been licensed for over 14 years, so I've seen it all. I got in right after the crash. I've worked in a distressed market. I've worked in a developing market, and I've worked in this crazy, interesting market we're in. So one of the things that we focus on is to ensure that we are providing our clients with realistic information, depending upon what type of market you're in, due to all the changes that we have.
Starting from the beginning, what made you move into real estate? What was your motivation?
I actually got laid off. So funny story, well, short story, long story short, I went to college, went to Georgia State University, and I got a marketing degree. And at that time, my goal was to become the best marketing director ever. And unfortunately, during that time, there were a lot of layoffs when I was working, and I unfortunately was laid off. So a friend of mine, actually a broker at the time, and he said, "Wow, well, marketing, sales, it's the same thing. Why don't you try real estate? You're selling a house." So I took the test and I fell in love. And I never looked back ever since.
What makes it so unique for you to be operating in real estate? What is it that you fell in love with?
The first thing I would say is the flexibility of creating. I have a very creative mind. I love building things. I love creating things and making it more amazing than it already is, or maybe something that needs a little work. I enjoy the challenge of changing something to make it beautiful. I think about like the caterpillar where, it's this ugly thing and then it turns into this beautiful butterfly. That actually what pushes me the most being able to create things in a business aspect. So that was my first thing that I loved, is just having the ability to create and be more flexible. And also, being someone from a different country, a lot of our families, we came here, with nothing. And, my mom, she's my hero. She worked 3 jobs to support us. And my dad, he also worked as well. And it was very difficult seeing them work so hard for that American dream. So, once I tapped into real estate and I saw that it was so lucrative and you could literally create whatever salary you want once you put in the work and you have the passion, I was attracted to that. So that was my biggest thing.
Let's be more specific. What are the skills I need, in your opinion, to become a very successful real estate agent? Is it just being the best cold caller? Is it customer service? Is it running the numbers? Is it perseverance? Is it a combination?
Yeah.
What is your description there?
It's definitely a combination. You have to talk to people. That's the number one trait of a real estate agent. I would say 75% of the job is you do have to open your mouth and talk to people. You do have to be likable. You have to be approachable. That's the part of the job that no one could really teach you to talk to people. You just kind of have to be that person that it's okay to, they will walk up to anyone and have a conversation. I think that's the number one thing. The other areas are the skill sets where you learn scripting. Like, okay, you can talk, but let's try to perfect how you speak. Let's work on some scripting. Let's get on the phones. And, a lot of with our agents, we actually get on the phones with our agents and we have them use scripts and we talk to the clients. The other aspect too is consistency. Real estate is sales. Essentially, if you um, are just trying once and you give up, you will never be successful. You have to keep trying and keep trying. Even when it seems like, oh my gosh, this is never going to work, you still have to try. Try one more time. I think about the light bulb. How many times did he fail to make that light bulb? And because he tried that one more time, we have electricity all over the world. So that's the biggest thing I would say is you have to have that consistency with it.
That's amazing that you say that. I think I listened to a podcast lately, and there was one person, and I forgot his name. I don't know. And he said, like, I think he says the secret of the one more time or something like that. And it's
Ah,
exactly
yes,
that, which can
yes,
make a difference, the one more meeting. And even if you wake up first thing in the morning, you check your phone and you got like 50 no's and you just don't want to get up anymore.
yeah.
But you still, okay, screw that.
You
I
gotta
get
keep
up and I just, one call, one
right.
email can change the entire week or the entire month. You went through also a couple of hardships in your life. You had your divorce, you have your 3 kids.
Mhm.
How do you manage those struggles, and how have you managed those struggles when just like you feel like the universe is against you and no one wants you, and you could just end up not getting up anymore and just stay in bed for 6 months and 24 months whatsoever? What was that situation like?
Well, I definitely won't say that it was something that was an easy thing. Going through a divorce is a very challenging thing to experience. And it's funny, you don't realize you're in it till you're in it. No one prepares you for that. No one tells you, hey, by the way, this may happen to you. You may go through a period of time where, you feel you question yourself. You may question if you believe in God, you may question God, you may question your family. And I think those are the areas that if someone goes through that, I would say to them, it's okay to go through those seasons. Because I think what I believe is a lot of times when you are a salesperson and life happens, no matter where life happens. And whether it's a divorce, a sickness, a death in a family, life always happens. And the whole idea is you have to take that time to grieve, right? You have to take that time to pick yourself up as well. And you have to take the time to win. So I celebrate all the seasons that I have experienced. I can't count it all joy. One of the challenging things I would say, if I was speaking to someone that was married, and because my ex-husband and I, we actually built the company together, and 3 children back to back, 3 young children, and we were running the business with younger children. So, for someone that is coming out of a marriage where your brand was wife, mother, once you go through a divorce, there is a period where you have to rebrand yourself. You have to show people that I'm not married anymore, but I'm still Crystal. I'm still going to get the job done. I'm still going to sell your house for the highest and best. I'm still going to get you the best house for the best price. I'm the same person, regardless if I'm married or not. So I think that part was challenging as well, is knowing how to rebrand myself to the public to show this is me. And of course, like I said, taking the time to grieve when you need to grieve, and pick yourself up when you're ready to pick yourself up. But don't take too long, I would say.
Yeah, some people call it identity crisis. You call it rebrand.
Yes,
Like
yes,
that's that, and you don't want to go into the identity crisis. You just want to say, no, I don't have, I am myself. It doesn't matter who is with me. I have been Crystal my entire life, with or
exactly.
without a husband. Now, fast forward and also talking about your brokerage, because you have been so successful, and I'm aware of the fact that you also transmit all your wisdom towards your agents, and that's why you're so successful. Give us an overview of your brokerage first and foremost.
So we have a very hybrid model style. Our trainings, we have a lot of trainings. Our trainings are both in person, as well as we have a Dominion Academy. So Dominion Academy is a online software that we partnered with a software company to put all our training videos on online. So the student can go on, really anyone, not necessarily from Dominion, any realtor can go on and they can take our classes. They'll take we have specific programs, and they can take those classes, whether you're a brand new agent or an experienced agent and you're looking to get more listings. So we have an online base, and we also have in-person training programs as well, where we would do a class setting. And then I also do one-on-one with my agents as well.
Training in real estate is always one of the key factors. Also, access to updated training, contextual training for your market, for your entire area. What's the content of your training academy like?
So one of our training programs is called the Jumpstart program. That is a program that I recommend brand new agents to jump into. It's a jumpstart. So we start from teaching you how to prepare time management. If you are unable to manage your time, it is almost impossible to be successful in this business, especially if this new agent has another job. You have to know how to prioritize your time. So we train them on a method called the ABCDE method. And what it does is it shows them how to prioritize specific tasks, or maybe delegate those tasks or eliminate those tasks. It's a specific method. So we first start them there to show them how to learn. Then we transition to how to track their progress. So whether you called 100 people today or you called 50 people the next day, you have to track your process so you can see how are you growing, or if you're growing. And if you're not growing, what do you need to change and what do you need to fix? So those are the first steps of the program. Then we start transitioning into contract, learning the contract from front to back. Because if you learn the contract, you really could do almost anything in real estate. So then we transition into how to open up your business, how to put your name into an LLC so that you can get some tax savings, right? And then finally, we finish off with how to get business. So I'm a big up believer of, I'm not going to give you the fish. I'm going to teach you how to fish. I'm going to teach you how to find those fish. Because if I keep giving you fish and if the fish run out, they're going to come back and say, you didn't give me a fish. So our goal with Dominion is to teach you. I'm going to show you how to get that fish, how to get that net full of fish. So it's not necessarily you're relying on Dominion. We're giving you the tools and the knowledge and the wisdom so you know how to get that fish.
Yeah, it sounds like you want to push them out and say, hey, you are not being trained to be a real estate agent in Dominion. We're not going and put you into this, I don't know, a jacket, and everything you have to do is believe in our faith. We want you to be able to run your own business, basically like as a sole proprietary. Tell us about the market in South Florida. I know it's very dense. There are a lot of real estate agents out there. There's also right now a lot of movement in general. What's the status quo right now of the market?
Okay, so I'm in South Florida. South Florida is literally like a totally different area compared to the rest of Florida. It's actually pretty interesting. Once you start getting into Palm Beach County, Broward County, and Miami-Dade, that's South Florida. Okay, so those particular counties, we have experienced a huge influx of people from all over the world, all over. I mean, we have people that's coming in from South America. We have people coming in from Europe. And in United States, we have a lot of retirees. They're always coming. It's an average of 1,000 people that move to Florida every single day. So we have people that are retiring here. We have a lot of retirees here. We have a lot of people that are from New York, from California, and they all move here. And after COVID, that number almost doubled because people wanted to take advantage of the no state taxes. They wanted to take advantage of, they used to call during COVID, they used to call Florida the open state. It's a state that everyone came because it was almost like Florida didn't care about anything else. The whole country was shut down. Florida was wide open. It was so funny. So a lot of people actually were attracted to that and being able to get that warm, sunny weather. So because of COVID and the prices have inflated so much, now when the interest rates went up, you're seeing a lot of price reductions everywhere. I mean, I've experienced several of my clients that I sold a house to 3 years ago. Now they're trying to sell and they barely have any equity. And the reason being is we are in a price correction. So prices are actually correcting back to where it really supposed to have been. So we have a lot of agents that came into the market after COVID we were selling houses in 24 hours. Whereas now you'll be lucky if you sell a house in less than 45 days. The average days on market is anywhere between 180 days to 6 months. 90 days to 6 months. That's the average right now. So it's definitely the market has slowed a lot. So you're seeing a lot of agents that are actually getting out of the business that, maybe thought it might have been a little bit easier than what it really is.
Is that not somehow weird? Because you say on the one hand, you have such a strong influx of potential buyers from people who have never been to Florida before, South America, Europe, and also other parts. Or is that also stagnating? So that's also a way, or have they built too much? So we have a lot of inventory and that's why the correction.
It's a little bit of both. So the locals here, and we hear this all the time, the locals can't afford the homes. It's like the people that after COVID, a lot of them came with cash. They sold their homes in other places. And several homes, I can tell you that I sold $60,000 over the appraisal value. They didn't care. They just, I don't care what it appraised for. We're going to give you 60,000 over the appraisal, right? And a lot of people are paying for that. These homeowners that they may want to move, but they can't, and they're stuck. Also, the cost of living is South Florida has one of the highest inflation rates in the country. The cost of living is a huge issue down here. While we are having an influx of other people coming here, it's the local South Floridians are having trouble with being able to actually afford a mortgage. Now with inflation, rates are high, and also the interest rates are higher than it was, during COVID time. So we have a lot of interesting things. Also, insurance still is an issue with all the hurricanes that came through. Many insurance companies left the market. So a lot of the insurance premiums doubled. I have many of my clients, the insurance premiums unfortunately doubled. So we have a lot of work, to do. And I think when you come here and you move here, really, you just want to make sure that you get with an agent that really understands the market, because you could really be strayed a totally different direction if you really don't understand the market here.
Talking to potential buyers, what is your tip when you talk to friends, family, and say, listen, I'm considering buying. What do you think is the most important thing for a buyer to take care of?
There's a lot. I would say the number one thing would be to work backwards. A lot of times buyers are so stuck on what the interest rate is. I think it's ideally you have to ask yourself, what type of lifestyle are you looking to have when you buy your house? Are you, when you do purchase your house, are you the travel person? Do you want to have enough money to travel around the world? Are you one of those travel gurus where you know, you want to be able to have additional funds? You don't want to be house poor. What type of lifestyle? That's the first thing I would ask. So don't get too caught up on the interest rates, because while and where the interest rates are going, they're losing equity. I always say this, even for tenants. So tenants say, oh, the interest rates are too high, I don't want to buy, but if you think about it, if you're renting a home, you're paying 100% interest. You're never seeing that money ever again. Every month you pay rent, that money goes in some cloud somewhere. That's 100% interest, right? I rather pay, 7% interest than 100% interest. So I always tell them, focus on where do you want to be? Then we work backwards. Okay, what type of mortgage payment are you looking to have, right? So then they tell me, and then I try to find them a property that's within that mortgage payment. Now, if it's unrealistic, then we'll work numbers again to try to get them close to what their lifestyle desires. So I would say that would be the first thing, to make sure that you first figure out what your lifestyle is, whether you're looking to upsize your house, or you're a first-time home buyer and you're looking for, a new home, or if you're an investor and you're looking to purchase a property to flip or to hold, whatever it is, you have to figure out, okay, what's your bottom line? What's your lifestyle, right? And what type of mortgage payment and cash flow for an investor that you're trying to achieve for your investment.
That makes total sense. And would you also agree that it's important to regard everything from a unit perspective? Saying, for example, listen, yes, it's fine. The macroeconomic data is changing into this direction and stuff. But in the end, if it makes sense on a unit basis for yourself in our own spreadsheet, you can afford it. You either go for it or not, because that's
exactly. And you got it right. You hit it right on the nail. I mean, sometimes I tell my buyers, like, don't watch the news. Just turn off the TV. Don't watch the news, because you would literally feel like the world is ending. If you sit there and watch the news and you hear all this stuff, especially on the politics side, it can be a little bit of polarizing if you're, watching the news and you're following what's going on. Ideally, it boils down to your budget. What can you afford based on this house in your local area? We also give them a lot of local stats. We tell them what type of market we're in, whether we're in a seller's market, buyer market. We give them also market data to help them make a better decisions when they're putting an offer. Like, for example, you may want to know what's the average days on market in that community, so you can know how strong you can go in or not. You may want to know what houses sold that were similar to that property. So we also give our buyers a lot of data so that they can make the best decision and not just make a decision based off of emotion, so.
Is there a certain, let's say, rule of thumb where you say, listen, you said lifestyle, and the emotion part is very, very important. And also from a financial perspective, what do you think is like a rule of thumb where you say, listen, I don't know, your salary times 4, your savings times 5, whatsoever. I don't know. I'm not a real estate agent. So what is your expertise there to say, okay, let's sit down, let's look at your finances, and I think this is the range of real estate we should look in, and then we go into, as you say, your lifestyle and your desires on an emotional level.
So when my clients, and I also train my agents this too, we're not lenders, we're not mortgage lenders. We can't really tell a buyer or whether or not they can afford it. We can give them some basic principles. We can, work some calculators with them. This is one of the reasons why one of the most important relationships a real estate agent has is with their mortgage lender. They have to have the best mortgage lender. I always call them the A team. That's your A team of your group. And I have an excellent relationship with my mortgage lender. I can call him anytime, any day. If I need numbers for a client, I can call him. He'll answer and he'll send it to me right away. That's the type of relationship that you need to have with a lender. And that's really what I rely a lot on my lender, because they're going to have that answer for me a lot better than I would. And then I allow them to make a decision based on what works best for them with their budget and their financial goals with their family.
Now, moving a bit fast forward towards the market, you now gave us a nice overview from COVID to now where the market is right now. You say the market is definitely right now like uncertain, a bit challenging. Days on market are quite long. Where do you see the market heading during, let's say, the end of 2025 and then also Q1 2026? Do you think we will have an impact regarding more stability from the government, the political element regarding tariffs, or there's some certain stability? Do you think the Fed rate will maybe have an impact? What's your outlook there?
I really wish, my name is Crystal, and I really wish I had a crystal ball. Every time I feel like, okay, this is it, this is going to be the change. This is when things are going to change. It just doesn't, I'm going to be honest, I really don't know what is going to happen. But what I do know is the only way South Florida is going to change is if something big has to happen. Because right now where property values are the highest and interest rates are higher, inflation rates are also higher, something has to happen. There has to be some sort of an intervention to stop the bleeding, per se, and what's going on in South Florida. I will say this, home prices, even though there was a slowdown so I always say after COVID, home prices kind of went like this. So now it's like this, but it's still going up, right? Prices are still going up. We're still selling homes. It's just taking a little bit longer to sell homes. So right now, I think the only thing that could possibly trigger more buyers is an interest rate reduction. But the problem with that is if the interest rates goes down, home prices are going to start going back up even more again. So there has to be a good balance on that. But I think it's either way, it's going to be great because we have a lot of listings that need to be sold, and a lot of them are sitting on the market. And I would even say this there's also an aspect of the homeowner kind of needs to wake up and smell the roses. People are not spending, $500,000 for a little cot. Buyers have woken up. They're not spending that price anymore. So I think at the end of the day, sellers also have to wake up as well and to realize what market we're really in. We're not in the COVID market where they're selling their house for $100,000 over the appraisal value. That market has long gone. So I think those two things really need to hand in hand, needs to come together in order to see really real change in the market here in South Florida.
Coming back to your brokerage, before we started recording, you said something which really, which I don't forget so fast. You said for you it is super important to feel you're working for something where you belong to create not only a sense of ownership because you have the training and you make them, understanding how to get the fish. You're not just providing the fish, but much more a sense of family and a purpose-driven organization.
Mhm.
How have you achieved this? How have you made sure that you don't only communicate that to you, you're not only aware of that for yourself. So, you wake up in the morning or you're in bed at night and you're envisioning your brokerage with this element, with this characteristic, but also how do you convey that to potential brokers, brokers and real estate agents so that they also embody that?
The first thing I ask agents anytime whether I'm interviewing them or I have my first meeting is I find out what's their why. Why are you a real estate agent? Why did you decide to get your license? And you'll get a lot of different answers. You'll have people that they just want to make some extra money, or they want to put their kids through college, or they want to help their community. There's so many different answers, but there is no right answer. You just have to have a why. You got to have a purpose. You can't just get your license just to say, hey, I just want to get my license. And the person that says, I just want to get the license, more than likely, we're not going to bring them on because every agent that's part of Dominion, they all have a purpose and they all have a goal, whatever those reasons that they are. That's the bigger thing. We are also very good with explaining our vision for our company and where actually Dominion started. Dominion, I opened up Dominion with $500. I didn't have, a rich uncle or a rich aunt give me money to open up my brokerage. I always say that my brokerage was opened up with faith, sweat, and hustle. That's what we did. And we put our heads down and we went to work. And that vision started off with being accountable for what God gave you, whatever that is. Even if you're a school teacher, be the best school teacher you could be. Whether you work in construction, be the best construction person you can be. And you are bound to be successful. And how amazing could it be if you connect with a group of agents that are all doing the same thing? Your brokerage will grow regardless. So I think that's the biggest thing is making sure you have a culture and you have agents that are all working towards the same goal. They just want to be better and they want to do great things, not only for themselves, but also for their community.
You just mentioned a keyword which I really like is make sure that you're providing excellent service and just live up to your own standards. On the other hand, you have let's say, a very long track record regarding sales. And I don't know about you, but there are a lot of people, and also including me, there's certain elements of limiting beliefs when you feel like, am I now an evil person asking for money? Because I have difficulties, and I don't know if it's like being rude. I just want to provide service. Is there a certain sweet spot from you which you had to overcome in order to achieve that? Or does it come supernatural for you because you have so much of self-confidence and you believe so much in your service you're providing that you say like, listen, I'm living up to it. And by the way, we also have to talk about pricing. Obviously, in brokerage, in the real estate industry, it's quite let's say, it's quite structured. So it's quite predefined. However, still there's always this element of like being opportunistic versus being vision driven and mission driven. How have you been able to cope with this diapoly?
That's a really great question, Michael. And I think for me, when I first came to this country, and we kind of had a mindset of, you work hard, right? You go to school, you work hard, you come home, you spend time with your family. And watching my mom, particularly my mom, work 3 jobs, it really gave me a mindset of, man, I need to hold on to every penny because, oh my gosh, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that person. My mom is, I've been blessed to be able to I sold my mom 5 properties, and now she's an investor, and she's retired and she's managing her properties, and she is like the American dream story. It's very inspiring what she's done. She literally came here with nothing. But going back to your question, that is a mindset that I actually had to change. They call it the scarcity mindset, where you always feel like, okay, this much is enough. And I had to change that mindset that I deserve more. It's funny, my last name's Moore. And how started to change that mindset is I started to valuing myself, and I started to valuing my work more. So for example, I was, doing my real estate and assisting clients, helping, hundreds of clients selling and buying and renting real estate for many, many years. But sometimes you get so caught up in your passion that you forget you're good. Like, you're really good at what you do. And it's funny, it was like almost a light bulb went off. And you know, I got, some of my clients, they bought me gifts. They wrote me beautiful letters, saying just the most amazing things. And that's when I realized, wow, I'm actually really good. I am changing lives. I'm a lifestyle designer. And when I started realizing that, and I started realizing my worth and my value, then it became easy for me to set my structure I actually revamped a lot in my business while I was successful. I made a lot of changes 5 years ago, and our sales doubled since I've done it. And one of the things is setting a system. So we have a structure for everything. Literally, when we meet with our client, we have our checklist. We go through step by step. We ask the right questions. If you have a limited mindset, you may not ask the right questions. You may be afraid to ask those questions. But once you see your value, see your worth, you understand that if you don't ask those questions, you're actually doing a disservice to your client. So that's one of the things that has contributed to our success.
Proper due diligence, basically, from a broker perspective, and making sure that you're qualifying your potential clients based on as many data points as possible. And this combined with a potentially very empathetic approach and reading between the lines to really see through what is actually the client looking for.
Exactly.
Probably one of the differentiation elements which you have, which made you to achieve 100 million in sales, Is that the only thing? Because I mean, 100 million in sales is so much. I can't even, let's say, imagine this number. Is it just growing step by step and you're accumulating, or is it exactly those processes which you put in place? Is it hiring the right people and firing the wrong people fast? What are the secrets, the elements of that secret sauce?
I think the biggest thing from my success, I say it all the time, is I never cut corners. I always do the right thing. I always do well by people, and they see that and they send me business. That's one of the things I think is the number one reason why I've been so successful. I have met so many people where I may have sold a house or had a relationship with someone, and they introduced me to another person and I was able to assist them. Referral marketing is so underrated. While there's so many different marketing systems and social media and print marketing, when a client can say, call Crystal, she is amazing. That is one of the greatest compliments that someone could have. So I don't take that lightly. And I think uh you just have to do people well. You have to do the right thing. Do the right. I mean, unfortunately there have been a lot of real estate agents and brokers that have gone down because they've done the wrong thing. Their ambitions got a little bit ahead of them. And they started to cut corners and they started to be sloppy, or they took the wrong deal and did illegal things. But if you just do the right thing, you're ethical in all that you do, right? And you are always looking at your client's best interests, not what car you're going to buy next year. You're always going to have business. It's like inevitable because people are going to keep talking about you and you will continue to get the business.
Having strong moral standards and ethical business standards, it reminds me what you say to what Ashwinder Singh from India said. Make sure that your reputation is undefeatable, and reputation compounds, and wealth follows, and
Yes,
money follows.
that's so true.
Regarding the 100 and plus entrepreneurs you have trained, is there anything you think which makes you stand out, which you say, okay, I definitely have nailed it? And there's also a certain belief for you in multiplying your knowledge and your wisdom, and not saying, I am the one having the certificate, having done this school and being a financial expert. You want to compound yourself, you want to multiply yourself, and you are creating systems in order to create like your army of bees and saying, listen, we all follow this process because this is proven. What is there your approach to make sure that all those entrepreneurs, all those real estate agents are so well equipped that you can confidently say, okay, I can't today, but I know I can send any of those to the same client, and by that I create a lot of leverage myself.
So 2 years ago, we created Dominion Elites, and these are agents, real estate agents that are with our company that have at least 5 years experience, and they act as mentors. So whenever a new agent comes into the business, they get assigned with a mentor, a Dominion Elite, or if an agent is looking to maybe ramp up some sales, we connect them with a Dominion Elite. We also have a lot of areas where we actually have 3 locations. We have one in Coral Springs, one in Plantation, and one in Orlando. So we also have a lot of referral systems where if they train the agents, they can actually be compensated, with their commission. So it's a mentorship program. I'm really big on delegation, giving people the opportunity to expand their gifts. We have a lot of agents that are great leaders with the company, and they want to see people win as well. So what a great thing. You can help someone win and you can also be compensated at the same time. So that's one of the things I think that has been amazing because it frees up a lot of my time so I can focus on more of the business development side rather than working in the business all the time.
And that leads to the next question. Where do you see Dominion Realty Group heading towards the next 5 to 10 years? What's the next step there?
So 5 to 10 years, I definitely don't want to be in the office every day. I would more than likely would have hired a manager to actually manage the agents. I am the brokerage manager, so it's something that I love and I enjoy doing that. However, I am 44 and 5 years from now, I'm probably not going to want to do that every single day. I would probably need help. I need bring somebody in to assist me with that so I can mainly focus on the franchise side of it, franchising Dominion, and then obviously keeping the same culture, keeping the same vision, but then I can focus more on that rather than the managing of the business.
Crystal, thank you so much for your time today. I learned a lot. You gave us a very nice overview on the current market of South Florida, the challenge right now, which is right now basically predominant, but also overall right now. It's very uncertain, not only in South Florida. I really like, obviously, your entire entrepreneurial journey from your childhood now to running like such a huge company and your mindset of always growing, delegating, implementing processes and multiplying your knowledge. That being said, you stay on the ground, and I really like to point that out. You know exactly the ins and outs on the transaction, on each deal, because obviously in order to teach that, you need to know all that. And I really like the way you train your agents to make sure that first and foremost, it's time management, then making sure that
Yeah.
they understand the contract, like the technicalities, and then creating basically the LLC, and you're basically set, like obviously how to nurture leads and how to make sure that you're scoring your activities. Thank you so much also for giving us an overview of the market right now and
Oh, my
of
pleasure.
your entire outlook regarding the market and for the company itself. Is there anything else you would like to mention to the audience, which we haven't touched upon?
Well, you can find us on dominionmoves.com if you are a buyer in the market looking to purchase a home. That's our main website. You can search homes in South Florida as well as Central Florida on our website. Or if you're an agent and you're looking for a great company of realtors to collaborate with, Dominion is the best boutique brokerage in our South Florida area. They can go on joindominionrealtygroup.com.
Perfect. Crystal, thank you so much. Really appreciate the time with you and sending the best regards to South Florida.
Thank
Big
you
hug.
so much for having me, Michael.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description.